Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I think our guest is on the line, so let's double check that. But hold that thought because I want to know more about this April Fool's concert because that sounds kind of frightening, actually. So let's see. Is this the one and only Mr. Erik Audé?
This is Erik Audé. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm on the set of a. Can you hear me okay? Because I'm on the set of a movie out in East Palmdale right now, and doing a lot of motorcycle riding. And I told them, I go, at 6 o'clock, I have to take a phone call. And they said, well, right now they're yelling my name, but I'm not going out there. I told them I stick to my word. So I'm all yours for however long you need.
Oh, cool. All right, very good. Because you know what, like your word, dude. Like, so I watched your movie, and I can't tell people enough that they really need to see this. So, blown away. Like I am blown away. Like the human being that you are. Like I said to my co-host Nick before, like when you're given that offer, you know, as you're in this situation that you're in, and you're given the offer of just say you're guilty and you can go home in 4 months, and you're like, no. I was like, I would have said I'm guilty so fast to get my ass out of Pakistan.
I just had too much. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry, you cut out there for a second. It wasn't easy, but it was easier for me to do than I think the average person because I knew that deep down had I not pled, if I had pled guilty for a crime I didn't commit, it would have just ate at me, and I knew I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. So it was gonna hurt, but it was what I needed to do in order to save my life because I just have way too much pride to ever admit to something I didn't do. I mean, had I done it, I would have cared less. I wish I had done it. I wish I had done that because I would have been like, you know what, I did a bad thing. I learned from it. I wouldn't even have apologized. But I have too much pride in me to ever admit guilty for something I didn't commit.
But you know what? It seems like so you ended up in this situation with something that you were innocent of, but you ended up still learning a lot of valuable lessons out of it.
Yeah, I learned that no matter how bad it gets, it could always be worse. I learned that you can find kindness in the worst of places, and you know, I learned that the little things don't matter. You know, the things that piss you off the most don't even matter because life is amazing in its own way. You know, I needed to go to jail just to realize how amazing my life was, and in a sick way, I don't think I would appreciate everything I have in front of me had I not spent those 3 years in jail.
Right. Now, when the whole idea about this documentary was brought to you to do this, was this something?
Sorry, I'm doing an interview for radio right now. I'm sorry.
Did you really want to have to go through again and rehash this whole situation you went through, like reliving all this all over again, or?
No, I didn't. I honestly, I don't tell my story very often. I told it to Joe, and I don't remember why I told it to Joe, but I truly don't like telling my story because it's embarrassing. It's something, something really traumatic happened. It's something I don't share. And when people hear about it, they go, wow, I had no idea. And they usually hear about it nowadays through a third party or just stumbling upon it or just at a conversation in passing. But the reason I told it was because I did the show Locked Up Abroad. Locked Up Abroad had been bothering me ever since I got out of jail, and they went into they wanted me to be on the show, but they sent me a bunch of tapes of episodes they had already filmed, and it was a bunch of guilty people. It was a bunch of people who deserved to be in jail, and I didn't want to be tied into that crowd. So every year they would contact me. I'd say no. Well, then finally, on their season 6, they said, look, we know you're an actor. How about we let you play yourself? And I was like, you know what? Now you're barking up the right tree because I was acting, I was doing stunts, and I figured what better jerk to play me than me? Well, unfortunately, I did the show, and I did it in a 13-hour rushed interview. And what they did was had I known they were going to do this, I wouldn't have done it because all they did was take the exciting stuff and just lump it all in together. So they left a lot of unanswered questions there, and by doing that, it really left. They literally just left me out in the wind because the show Locked on the Rod is a very popular show. It's aired in every country in the world, and it's in countless languages. Well, it's been viewed over 800 million times, and it left a lot of unanswered questions. But people started filling in the gaps with their own answers, and most of them are wrong. So people were being, they were contacting me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and just saying some harsh stuff. And I've got thick skin, but you know what? I've still got feelings as well. And
sure.
Telling the story for me wasn't so I could be famous. This is the last thing I want to be known for. I wanted to be a respectable actor and stuntman my whole life, and I wanted people to respect me for doing something that I love doing. But now I'm known as the drug smuggler, and people would say, okay, come on, you knew, you had to have been. So they're calling me a liar and a drug smuggler. People want to assume that I got raped every day in jail, and I get told, go kill yourself, death threats, harassing, people laugh at me. Some positives, it's apples or oranges, but it was getting so many negatives that my friend Jamie says, hey, Erik, because she knew my whole story. I've known Jamie over 20 years, and she knew my whole story, and she says, you need to tell your entire story. We need to do what Locked Up Abroad didn't do, and we need to tell your whole story so people understand how you are the way you are, how you're able to handle what you're able to handle, kind of where you're at now. And so by telling the story, so far the responses have been really positive, and I've had people contact me who say, hey, look, I had a guy who in England the other day contact me, and it was because of his girlfriend that I responded to him. I try to give people like positive messages and whatnot, and tell them that, hey, look, it could always be worse, and they look at everything I survived and somehow managed to get through it and not give up. And it's inspired them to get through whatever is troubling them. But there was this guy whose girlfriend contacted me. She says, look, we have 4 kids together. He's suicidal. I don't know what to do. For some reason, he thinks that talking to you will change it. And all I did was contact him, and we had a FaceTime, and he just wanted someone to listen to. And I just made the guy laugh. And I told him, and he was like, look, I don't know what to do. I'm always thinking about suicide, and I'm in the funk, and I've got kids, and I want to take care of them. I want to take care of my life. And he asked me, he goes, what did you do to get through the worst days? And I told him on the worst days when my ears were killing me because I had 2 popped eardrums, fungus was growing in them from the monsoon rains that came in. I thought about suicide all the time, and it wasn't because I was sad or depressed. It was because I was just in so much pain. And I told him, I said, my simple goal was to get through the next 5 minutes. And then when 5 minutes would come and go, I'd set another goal of just 5 more minutes. Before I knew it, an hour came, and then a day. And my goal was just to get through the day. And no matter how bad it gets, it could always be worse, man. The day will come and go. Your goal is just to get through the day. And he's been doing good ever since. I've had people say, what you went through has really inspired me to, not really focus on the little things in life. They've learned to appreciate things they have. They don't focus on things they don't have. And I truly believe that by telling the story, 2 things will happen. People will be armed with the information that this stuff does happen. So they'll be smarter than I was, and they'll know to walk away because they'll know it's too good to be true. But also, they'll know that their life is worth living, that it could always be worse, and they'll appreciate just the little things so much more.
Right.
And that's what and that's what I'm hoping people take away from it. And that's what, so far from the responses, people have been taking from it. So by sharing my story, everything bad that has happened to me isn't for nothing, because other people are able to find new meaning in their life by knowing how bad I had it. And for me, that's payment enough, is that it wasn't for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a story, and like the one thing that I was wondering too, especially like as you're watching it, I was just like, you're seeing your mother, who's part of it, and what your mother went through trying to get you out of there. How hard was it for you to like watch like your mother's movies?
How hard was it for me to watch the documentary?
Your mother's interviews, her segments.
Well, I just saw the movie. I only saw her interviews in the movie, and you know what? She tried her best to. she tried her best. She thought she did what she thought was right, and she got taken advantage of a lot by people who saw that she was desperate to get her son out of jail, and so she lost a lot of money. And at the end, she did everything she could to try to get me out, but no mother should ever be in that situation. No one should ever be in this situation. I mean, the world is terrible enough sometimes, and it's even worse when you've got monsters going out of their way to, have people like myself smuggle drugs to them unknowingly, or just scamming them. And it's not just me that suffered; it's my family that suffered, my friends that suffered. It's a really tough situation. It's not easy. I don't like watching the documentary. I didn't want to play myself in it again because I got so messed up when I played it out in Morocco for Locked Up Abroad. I have PTSD, unfortunately. Going to sleep is like Russian roulette for myself. I wake up with black eyes. I smash thumbs. My girlfriend had to stop me from punching myself in my sleep because I guess there's, I have dreams that the guards come into my cell still and just start beating on me. And, it sucks to, the only person who can kick my ass is myself, and it happens more times than I care to admit.
Now, I'll admit to you, like, I'm a person that goes to therapy every week. I see, every Tuesday night I'm there faithfully. After all this, are you in therapy at all, or?
I went to therapy when I had to go, when they had to get information on me and how I was doing so that I can sue the man that set me up. And the therapist was just like, you need therapy for the rest of your life. But, some people talking about things helps them. For me, it doesn't. It just makes me mad. I don't want to talk about my life. I want to focus on the good that's in my life. I want to talk about my rescue dogs. I want to talk about the trips that I make with my girlfriend. I want to talk with my friends about the jobs we're working on. I want to talk about happy things. I don't want to talk about bad things because everyone's been through bad things in their life. And for me, if I focus on it, it's just going to tear me apart. So I found that thinking on the little things that matter to me, just my freedom, food, my friends, just there's so many wonderful things around me, and I'd rather focus my time on that. Talking about the bad doesn't help. Some people say you got to talk about it. People handle things differently. For me, talking about it isn't helpful for me.
Right. Now, how about like once you got home, like when you were on your way home, what was the first thing you really wanted to do?
I wanted to eat a Wiener Schnitzel chili dog. That was the first thing I wanted to do. I craved it when I was in Kasori on the hottest days when the mosquitoes were eating at me and the cockroaches were crawling over my feet and I could see my hands on my face because it was so dark. All I wanted to do was eat a Wiener Schnitzel chili dog.
That's what I was wondering if it was food, sleep, or being back with your girlfriend.
No, she unfortunately she met someone the year before I got out, and they ended up getting married and having 3 wonderful children, and I'm very happy for her. I got out too late. I have a wonderful girlfriend now that I'm very lucky to have, and she's probably the best part of my life other than my rescue dogs.
That's awesome. Now you said you travel, and they even showed pictures in the movie of you and your girlfriend traveling around the world and all. And I would think, because I am, and I've said this many times on this show, like I am so scared of traveling out of the country. And being in it, I would be innocent, but I'm so scared I would end up in a situation that you ended up in. So you're not scared to travel like outside the country?
Well, you know what? Some people could be scared of getting hit by a car, but if they go through their life living that way, they'll never cross the street. And for me, traveling was part of the reason why I went, because I wanted to travel so much. Traveling was the payment for me, basically. That's all I ever wanted to do. And the world is a big, fun, friendly place. A smile is universal. A laugh is universal. And I've met amazing people all over the planet. And the world is my playground, and it always will be. As long as I'm packing my own bags, I'm going to be okay. I'm never going to work for anyone else again when it comes to importing or exporting. That's for sure. If somebody even asks me to help them carry a couch, I will tell them to go to hell. But the world is a great place. if you give it a chance. If you go looking for trouble, you're going to find trouble. But if, you're just going there to have a good time, people are going to welcome you.
That's awesome. So tell us about the rescue dogs. What are you doing with this now? You have a thing set up, or?
Well, I help out with a bunch of charities throughout the year. I mean, I play a lot of poker. So one thing that I've just over the last, I guess, 10, 12 plus years is I've been asked to bring celebrities and poker players to different events that, different causes. And the causes I like the most are anything animal related. I do a great charity every August called Vice is Nice. We play poker at the president of Penthouse's ranch. And the great thing about this charity is it's 100% of all profits go towards the causes. It's an umbrella for about 60 smaller grassroots charities, and these smaller charities, like they went to Houston with vans with food during the hurricanes that happened in Houston, and they brought aid, but they also went and adopted all the animals that were in the shelters that were on the kill list and gave them temporary housing until they could find permanent housing for them. And a lot of the smaller charities, people may think, oh, well, what can they do? They can do a lot. You don't need to be part of a big charity or a big company to help out. You can go and you can donate your time at the local animal shelters. I tell people that if you need me to do anything, like help you with investing or whatnot, or you want me to, if you just want any advice on whatever subject, all I ask is that you donate something to your local no-kill animal shelter. Animals, are amazing. They'll give you all their love 100 times. You just give them a little bit. And the best part of my day is coming home and seeing how much my dogs have missed me. And they've been they've been very therapeutic for me. My animals wake me up when I have night terrors. They let me know that I'm needed and loved, and that's why I go out of my way to help those that can't help themselves. And animals are very close to my heart, so I will always go out of my way to help them. And if people, think about it, they can all do good. They can go, like I said, to your local animal charity, your local shelter. You can go buy a homeless person lunch, and you can just, a smile goes a long way. Some encouraging words can make someone's day. Someone could be in a bad mood, and if you just talk to them and make them laugh, you know what? They can just forget, what was bothering them. We all have it in us to do great things and be amazing, and that's all I care to do anymore. That's all. I just want to be happy. I want to help others, and I want people to realize, what, life is not that bad if you just give it a little bit more effort to be happy. And it's not hard. It's not hard at all. It's very easy. We all have it in us to be amazing.
Absolutely. Have you ever thought of doing going and talking to people? Like, I mean, I could see you being like one of them positive reinforcement people. Yeah, I mean, you have a hell of a message to spread, and not even have to go through your whole story, but just like you said, helping people.
Well, people who've been watching my documentary and reaching out to me, it seems that the majority of the people that have been reaching out to me are people who have, issues in their life where they're not being able to cope for whatever reason. Everyone's depressed. Everyone feels down. Everyone feels alone. Everyone feels like they're not good enough or they don't have enough, and they're not where they want to be. And all I do is point out the obvious things. Hey, you have your health. You have your freedom. When I came back, I had nothing but the clothes on my back, and I felt richer than everything. Before I went, I had everything, and I didn't appreciate none of it. And when everything was taken away from me, the things that I missed the most, the thing that I missed the absolute most was just water, just clean water. Ice is a damn luxury. That's amazing, to the things that will pop out to you once everything's taken away. Once everything's taken away, just imagine being in jail and not knowing when you're going to get out. You'll start to realize the things you're going to miss. The family members that you neglected, the being able to turn on the TV and just, keep your mind entertained, not worrying whether or not you're going to be beat in your sleep, not being hungry. There's so many things around us that are amazing in their own way, and none of us ever acknowledged it because we never had it taken away from us. We've taken it for granted. So when people talk to me, I point those things out, and that's what I do. And I talk to everyone, but have I ever done public speaking? No, I have never been asked to.
Wow. I could totally see you doing it. I mean, seriously. I mean,
Well,
you're saying,
I appreciate that.
I do. I mean, I'm being dead serious. Like, I could see. I mean, you're talking about, how you've helped people one-on-one. People have contacted you, but I could see you definitely like in front of a crowd talking to people.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I just I live one day at a time, and if it ever happens, then great. But in the meantime, I'm simply happy, just just living life as simply as possible. I mean, right now I'm on a set filming, doing what I love, which is stunts, and uh, my girlfriend's gonna be going out to film a movie next week in New Jersey. I'm going out to Vegas with friends to try to talk a person into letting us tell his documentary, and it's just I'm enjoying every minute of it. If I never worked in the movie industry again, if I had to go work at a fast food restaurant, I would still love life. I would still enjoy it because I get to experience this great thing. That is not guaranteed. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. None of us. The only thing that we are guaranteed is how we handle today. So I'm going to just try to live it up while I can, because we're not here very long. None of us seem to realize it. I'm lucky that I went to jail. I'm lucky that I got to get to know firsthand what is special in my life.
Wow. Yeah, that was something too, and you just said, and it kind of like stood out to me too in the film was, and you don't hear many people say that, but it sounded like you wanted to be a stuntman more than you wanted to be an actor.
Yeah, no, stunts are fun. Stunts are cool. The actors are the ones who watch you, and the actors are envious of you. The actors, when I say, hey, I got to fight Steven Seagal. I got to fight Stone Cold Steve Austin. I've been Jason Voorhees. I've fought Jean-Claude Van Damme, and it's fun. I mean, when you're a kid growing up and you see all these guys on TV, and then you get to get in the same room and square off with them, it's fun. It's also kind of for the ego. It's flattering to know you're tough enough to handle these situations, and you've got skill to some sense. Even if you do get hurt, you can handle the pain. So if anyone was built to do this, it was me, and I love every minute of it. I'd rather be respected for being a stuntman and a stunt coordinator and keep everyone safe on set than just an actor. I would love to be an actor, but I don't think it's my strong point. I think stunts are my strong point, and I get a lot of acting roles though because I do all my own stunts. So
Right.
I do market myself as both, but I do prefer stunts. It's just what I do. It's just what I like more.
Wow, that is wild. And
where are you? Where are you from originally?
Philly. I'm out here in Philly.
I love Philly. See, I came out to Philly a couple years ago to do a movie called Fight Valley. My girlfriend was the lead in it, and it had a bunch of UFC fighters in there. It had that Chris Cyborg, Holly Holmes, Misha Tate, and when those girls came on set for the first time, everyone thought they were going to hate each other because they're supposed to be rivals. And those girls all ended up just friends, and I talked all of them into going and visiting the Rocky Steps with me. And I got to run up the Rocky Steps against all these future world champions, and I beat them in my boots, and it was fun. I mean, what kind of life? Who gets to do fun stuff like that? It was great. It ended up being my first Instagram photo on my page was with all of us in front of the Rocky statue. So I love Philly. Philly's a great city.
That's awesome. Yeah, you got to come back. Come back. Let's do some cheesesteaks, man.
I would love to come back, and I plan to come back for sure.
I'll walk up the steps. I'll never make it running. You'll have to help me up.
Yeah. No, I don't have it. I don't have the greatest endurance anymore. Cyborg wanted to race me up the steps again. I was like, nope, I'm retiring the champion. I had no more energy. One take was all I had. But I just want to say thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you watching the documentary, and by people watching the documentary 3 Years in Pakistan, it'll answer a lot of questions that weren't there on Locked Up Abroad. A lot of people are like, why should I watch this again? And I tell them, because Locked Up Abroad was only 1 year, 2 months of my story. 3 Years of Pakistan is my whole story, and it answers all the questions that they might have had that Locked Up Abroad left out. And if they have any questions after watching it, they can find me on Instagram or on Twitter under my name, Erik Audé, and I'll happily answer them. I like positive comments, obviously, but if someone's in need, if someone's hurting, obviously, and you feel like you can't find someone else to talk to, I'm telling you, just watch my documentary, okay? And if you need to reach out to me, I'll try to steer you in the right direction, because whatever is going on in your life, I'm telling you, even if it's ridiculously bad, you can still get through it. I was thrown in the deep end of the pool not knowing how to swim in life, and somehow I came out jet skiing. No matter how bad it gets, it could always be worse, and you still will always have a choice on how you handle it. So you stick your chest out, you keep your head up, and you handle it. That's all you got to do is just get through the day.
Absolutely. Yeah, too. When you came back, that sounds wonderful too. Did you think it was going to be like? Was it hard for you to get back into Hollywood? Or did people think that you were guilty? And you know what I mean? Was it hard to get back into the acting and stunts? Or
my friends knew I was innocent. My close friends knew I was innocent. A lot of people in the business knew I was innocent. I had my director friend who directed Soul Surfer. He got me my first job back. So people were hiring me. I was, after a few days of being back, I was working on the movie War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. So people were giving me jobs, but when I came back, the things that changed were, when I left, it was like Survivor was the only show on TV that was reality. But when I came back, everything was reality. On the radio, it was like I jumped into the future. On the radio, they were only playing Avril Lavigne songs and Gwen Stefani songs. Everyone had DVD players and phones that played music and, internet access at their fingertips, and gas had jumped up to almost $4. I was like, what the hell's wrong with this future? But it wasn't hard for me to get back into my life. It really wasn't. I started, going on. I went and started doing what I always did, as if no time had passed at all. I was very positive in jail. I had a great life in jail. The first year sucked. The first year took a lot of getting used to, but by the second year, people started understanding me. People started respecting me. People liked me. I had friends. I had a job. I had a purpose. I made the place a lot cleaner. I brought in a water well. I ran poker games. I brought in things to make people's time pass. So I had a good life in prison for the last 2 years of it. And I became a lawyer while I was there. And while I was working on my case, I was working on several other people's cases. I got 7 foreigners out by arguing all the points in their case. And it gave me purpose, and it really helped me. So when I was finally leaving, I was ready to go home. But sometimes I still miss prison. I miss the friendships I made when I was there. I missed the respect that I had when I was there. And it wasn't all bad. Even in a terrible place like that, it wasn't all bad. I made a good life for myself while I was there.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It really seemed like you really, from the way it started to when you were finally set free, you gained a ton of respect from the prisoners and the guards.
Yeah, well, the thing that helped me the most was communication. Learning their language, they started seeing me as a human being, and I started seeing them as human beings. And the guards, who'd come into my city, you have to fight the guards. That's even if I spoke in the same language as them when they first got there, the guards you have to fight, because they're there to make money. They have to pay a big corruption tree just to work in that prison, and it's all part of the documentary. But once the guards started seeing me as a human being, and they were all working for me, they eased up. They were happy because they were making money by simply just getting fruit rather than having to fight people. The stuff I was having them bring in was like movies and books and food and fun stuff. I wasn't having them bring in drugs or weapons or anything like that. So they were happy that they were making so much money, and it was easy and it was safe. And I would throw dinner parties for them. You win a lot more bees with honey, and that's life. You win a lot more bees with honey.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I have the utmost respect for you. Really do.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It means a lot, and I hope that by what happened to me will somehow help you and your listeners just not be as depressed. We'll be a little kinder, and we'll slow down and and bite their tongue, rather than just run off. And a smile goes a long ways. Patience
Absolutely.
goes a long ways, and just knowing that it could always be worse will let you appreciate what you have a little more.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, Erik, where should we tell everybody they can see the movie at? Where's for everybody to see it?
Well, there's about 30 platforms. They can go on iTunes, they can go on Amazon, they can go on Vudu, they can go on demand. It's even on YouTube Red. There's like Frontier. You just literally type in my name, Erik, or type in 3 years in Pakistan, and you'll see somewhere where you can rent it or buy it. And find me on Instagram, find me on Twitter. Let me know what you think, and by all means, just even if you don't watch my documentary, just go out of your way to be happy. Go to a homeless shelter, donate your time, buy someone lunch, do something nice, because helping others is what helps me. And it's really therapeutic, is just being kind to others and letting other people know that they matter and that life is amazing if you just let it be.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said.
Now I have to get back on set. We're filming some more stuff, and I got to go ride my motorcycle right now. But thank you for letting me be on your show, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Take care, and thanks again.
All right, stay in touch, and when I'm in Philly, I plan on getting that cheesesteak with you.
You're on. Let's do it.
Awesome. Take care, man.
Thanks, man. Take care. All right, there he goes. Erik Audé. Check it out. 3 years in Pakistan. It'll truly change your life. I mean, seriously, please watch it.
I mean, for the sake of the radio show, I'll say absolutely, dude. But I won't.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's not that I don't want to see it either. It's just like, when? What do I take out of its place in order to watch it? You know what I mean? Like, how long is it? I'll tell you how many shows I have to sacrifice. So, you know what I mean?
It's almost 2 hours.
2 hours. So you're talking about almost 3 shows.
It's
2 hour longs and a half an hour.
Yeah, I think it's 108 minutes long.
Oof.
Dude, I'll tell
but
you what,
now I know everything I need to know, right? He went to jail. Jail sucks. He got out of jail. He's cool now.
Dude, he I mean, some things that happened to him in there. Like, I mean, they showed like the dude. It's fucking mind blowing. The toilet was like like a bedpan was his toilet. You didn't have toilet paper. You had to wipe your ass with your hand, and there was a bucket next to it, and you had to wash your hand in the bucket.
Ugh. Swamp ass all day.
Oh. And at one point, a guy, he was like, dude, he bought a camera. He had a camera snuck in by the guards. So, I mean, he had taken pictures of him with, all these people and blah, 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 blah. And, his cell. And he had, like, all these pictures that they showed through the thing. And at one point, like, he actually started, like, in the yard, the prison yard. Like, he started gardening it. He's like, you know what? I'm going to be here. Because at one point, he thought he was going to be there for 7 years. He's like, I'm going to make this place look nice. And he said one day he was out there and he was gardening, and a guy jumped over the wall and jumped into the prison and came at him with a knife. And they ended up, they were struggling and fighting, and he went to, like, toss the guy over or something, and he ended up snapping his neck and killed the guy.
Oh, wow.
Like, at that, like he's telling that story, dude, he, like, fucking broke down. Like, he was just like, he was...
And no real reason as to why the guy attacked him, right? Other than the fact that maybe he's just not from there.
He don't even know. The guy was just jumped over the wall and started running at him with a knife. Tried to kill him. Tried to stab him. And he didn't even mean to kill him. It was just a complete accident. And the neck snapped, and he just felt his body go limp.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's people please. I mean, it's.
No, I mean, like, I'm not Bay Ragney. Like, I've been on a cruise. I've been to Mexico. But like, there are certain places where I think you just have to have some common sense and not fucking go. You know what I mean? Like Australia's good unless you're afraid of crocodiles. You know what I'm saying? But like, who's taking a fucking vacation in Iraq? You know what I mean? Like, if like I'm not even saying it like to be racist. Like, I don't care about like someone being Muslim or something like that. That's their own deal. You know what I'm saying? But like, Nick Wilkinson will never go to a country where the leader of that country wears like a fucking turban. You know, like, that's just a fact. Like, that it's not gonna end well. I already know.
Dude, I'm with you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm with.
But I would go to
you.
like Greece. But not Bayragni. Bayragni wouldn't be in Greece. I don't know if I could get you to Italy. Like,
I know.
If I was like, babe, we can get on the plane now. You won't see anything. You won't hear anything. We'll just open the door, be in the middle of Italy. Everything's good. I still don't think I could get you to go.
I don't know.